A little bit about myself. I was born in 1967 in Texas, third generation Texans, and about fifth generation Reformed Jews on both sides of my family. My family didn't really know anything about, didn't do a whole lot about Judaism. It was not a central part of their life. They were always active civically in the temples and things like that, helping in the sisterhood, involved Jewishly, but not necessarily doing much observance of commandments or Jewish lifestyle. My mother came from a slightly more religious family, and she encouraged my father's family to make a Pesach Seder, and my mother would light Shabbos candles sometimes and Hanukkah candles. As a kid, we grew up going to Sunday school, so we had some religious education. And as a young teenager at camp, I had kids that were from conservative backgrounds that were having bar mitzvahs. When I heard about how much money they made, I told my parents I wanted to have a bar mitzvah. They went back and they asked the Reform rabbi, and it's something that we started training for. My grandfather had never been to a bar mitzvah before, my father's father, and my bar mitzvah was the first one he went to see. I had some type of stirring though, besides making money, and I wanted to continue studying Hebrew and studying, and the temple was not in favor of this. They were like, nobody studies Hebrew after their bar mitzvah, and so I was discouraged and I kind of dropped it. And I went to a private school, very scholastic, and graduated with good scores, good grades, and went to the University of Colorado. I had some events along the way that were life-changing, and when I look back at them, I look at them from the Jewish perspective, that the whole world was created for me. It sounds egotistical, but we look at things, especially retroactively, to see that they were being orchestrated on our behalf to bring us to a certain place. So I do know that when I was about 15, I hit a tree skiing with my head, and I ended up having a 9-inch skull fracture and 5 breaks around this eye and 3 breaks around this eye, and my cheekbone was broken in 3 places and surgically put back into place. Somewhere over there's a dimple. And in hindsight, I look back at that as like, that was a wake-up call saying, hey, you started to come towards me, and then you dropped the ball. Here, wake up. But I didn't really follow up on that. I see things. I also see our creators being very patient. I went to college. I was when I was in college to have an amazing experience to go on a boat, a cruise-sized ship around the world. I shared a room with another guy who was paired up randomly, and we woke up in the middle of the night. And the cruise ship, keep in mind, is 8 stories, and there's about 500 passengers and about 300 or 200 or 300 employees, staff members. I think it was around 700-800 people on the boat. We woke up in the middle of the night, and I realized that the room was awkward, askew, and that I was on top of my roommate. Don't catch me here, this was weird. Usually the room was like this, but all of a sudden the room was like this. So my bed, which was over on this side of the room, was in the air, and I fell from here down to here onto my roommate's bed. But a few minutes later, the whole world changed, and we both fell from here to the wall next to my bed. After about 3 or 4 times of this happening, we ran out into the hallway, where it was complete mayhem because people were screaming and bloody and confused in the middle of the night, trying to make it down a hallway that's like something out of a house of horrors or something like that. We got to an area where the emergency lighting was sending us, and we were on what was called the promenade deck, which goes all the way around the outside of the boat, and it's about 2 or 3 stories above the water normally. The boat though was rocking so much like this that the windows, now we're on the promenade level, the windows that were on this side were good and completely submerged in the water when the boat went this way. And all of us that were